Tappei has just released Arc 7 Chapter 42, and this video will be a summary of the chapter. I highly recommend you check out my Arc 7 Chapter 41 summary. Anyways, let's begin. The chapter begins with Olbart's statement about having tea without permission. Subaru freezes at this outcome. His return by death was at a poor location. Before Subaru could react though, Petra pulled her bow and aimed it at Olbart, like last time. Also, Olbart stated that he didn't like sharp things being pointed at him, and like last time, Olbart was interrupted by Abel, who called out his name. Subaru looked at the scenario. It was a repeat of what happened before. In only a few more minutes, they would all be slaughtered, so Subaru had to change his destiny. Subaru can hear his inner voice asking whether or not he can change his destiny. After all, even with Return by Death, it was due to Subaru's mistake which got all of his friends killed. This was a mistake he made. A mistake that he couldn't take back even if he did have Return by Death. Subaru shouted aloud, which surprised everyone in the room, and Subaru slapped his cheeks to give himself motivation. The only person who didn't seem to be agitated was Abel. Due to this, Olbart noticed who Subaru was, that he was Natsuki. However, Subaru realized that the fact that Olbart recognized Subaru as Natsuki means that he was the one behind making them turn into kids. However, bringing that up as a point of negotiation was a big mistake. Subaru also knows that revealing Abel's true identity will make Olbart just kill the Emperor, as that was his life's ambition. Just like last time, Owl complimented Subaru's disguise, resulting in Olbart asking if Subaru wanted to teach his abilities in the shinobi village. This time, however, Subaru was silent, which caused Olbart to state that his grand appearance most likely made them put their guards up, and Olbart states that he made a mistake. Despite Olbart's appearance as a nice old man, Subaru realizes that a shinobi was essentially a ninja. Then even his persona and appearance was there to simply catch your opponent off guard. After all, ninjas are known for their traps, poisons, and ninjutsu. Olbart stated he doesn't have much time left, and Petra asks if he wants to fight. However, Olbart states that fighting isn't the only way to achieve your goal. Olbart then reveals that he shrunk them to children, only for Al to call out to Olbart. Olbart states that he didn't want to kill them, so he shrunk them instead. What Olbart said was the truth. He could have easily killed them all at the Red Ruri Castle, instead of shrinking them. The only reason they survived was due to an old man's whim. At least that's what Subaru thought. However, Olbart stated he was seriously trying to kill Aldebaran. However, Al prevented Olbart from killing him. Olbart had to then resort to the shrinking technique since he was backed into a corner. Olbart says that Al knows that. Al states he has no idea what Olbart is talking about, only for Olbart to ask Al about the technique he used. He wants the details so he can put it into a secret book. However, Al stated that he has no idea what Olbart is talking about. Subaru of course was confused by this interaction. Of course, Al saved Subaru and Medium. However, Subaru wasn't sure what Olbart saw. Maybe it was Al's fighting technique. Either way, even if Olbart's words were true, currently Al was a child, so his technique wouldn't work on Olbart currently. In other words, their current mission is to not fight Olbart. Subaru knew that they couldn't fight Olbart. Even escaping would most likely not work. Sure, 1 or 2 people might escape, but that wasn't good enough. While Subaru appreciated Return by Death, he lamented the idea of coming back to when Olbart just appeared, meaning he couldn't discuss the situation with his friends. This actually reminded Subaru of when he was in the city of Guaral being hunted by Todd. It was the same situation where Subaru was already spotted by that threat. Subaru went to ask Olbart a question. However, Abel interrupted Subaru and asked Olbart about his technique. Subaru wanted to buy time, but Abel came out of nowhere and interrupted him. However, Subaru realized that Abel was taking on Subaru's role. Whilst Abel distracted Olbart, it was up to Subaru to do something. As Abel and Olbart talked, Subaru did realize that Abel was in fact buying time. Subaru wondered how Abel knew Subaru's intentions. Abel mentioned that Olbart wants the one, which causes Olbart to freeze. However, Olbart told Aldebaran and Tarita to not move, just in case they tried to do anything. Even though Olbart was looking at Abel, he could still somehow see Tarita and Al. Either way, Subaru called out to Aldebaran, hopefully conveying the intention to not do anything. Subaru thought about Al. He seemed to be a skilled defender. He battled with Arakia and with Olbart, and Subaru admired that. However, currently he was a kid. Olbart asked Abel why he believes that he's aiming for the first position of the Divine General, as he suggests that it's a crazy idea. Abel states that Olbart's ambitions aren't so shallow. Olbart's goal is to become the first ranked Divine General. However, Subaru knows that Abel is incorrect, because he knows that Olbart's goal is to kill the Emperor. Knowing this information, Subaru called out to Olbart, stating, "You aren't after the first place seat, you're after the Emperor." With that, the tension in the room changed, and Olbart looked at Subaru, stating that Subaru came out of nowhere. And Subaru asked if Olbart was surprised since he spoke out of the blue, or was it because of another reason? Olbart just started joking, saying that he had no idea of wanting to kill the Emperor. Both Al and Medium actually agreed with Olbart, stating that he was a Divine General and he wouldn't kill the Emperor, and Olbart of course agreed. However, Subaru stated that Olbart didn't actually deny it. Of course, Subaru understood that he could not reveal Abel's identity, or even that the false Emperor was Chisha Gold, so instead of revealing their card, the best thing to do was to reveal the card of the opponents, in other words, Olbart's ambitions. Subaru stated that their goal was to overthrow Vincent Valakia, which is what they said at the Red Ruri Castle, meaning that Olbart and Subaru's goal actually align. However, of course, Olbart again dismisses it. Subaru knew Olbart. Olbart was someone who would harm everyone around him in order to achieve his goal. So therefore, if his goal, which was killing Vincent Valakia, was not fulfilled by revealing Abel's identity, then he would never resort to violence, because violence wouldn't help him achieve his ambition. He would continue to play the role of a Divine General until his role was fulfilled and he could kill Vincent. Abel then interrupted, stating, "So that's what's going on in your mind." And Olbart stated he has no idea what everyone is talking about, and states he will just give up since there's no point in talking. Olbart again said he won't fight them, since he was told not to fight. However, Olbart of course realized that they were all still shrunk, and he said it's a bit too greedy to go back to normal. Olbart was then asked if someone else can return them to normal, for which he asked for Medium's age, and she said 20. Olbart then just said to wait for 10 years. Either way, Subaru knew that they couldn't force the answer out of him by force. Abel, however, interrupts the conversation, stating that he will give Olbart the chance to kill the Emperor. Subaru gasped as the atmosphere changed again. Olbart states that the premise is incorrect. However, Abel states that the reason Olbart hasn't killed the Emperor is due to the protection of the Yang Sword. So Abel will tell Olbart how to bypass that protection. From the sounds of it, the Yang Sword's flame protected the current emperor, which is the reason why Olbart's ambition never amounted to anything. Olbart said to not make jokes. However, Abel stated that someone who wants to wage war on the Wallachia Empire wouldn't make jokes. After hearing this, Olbart finishes his drink, and Medium says that they need to meet with Yorna-chan, and they can't do it as kids. However, Olbart says to Subaru, how about playing a game? Subaru then asks what would happen if he says no, and the response is that they won't win anything. That didn't give long until the meeting with Yorna, so what game would they play? Olbart did also say he will be using his shinobi techniques. However, they would play a game kids play in the villages, a game of chase. And with that, the chapter ends. So yes, by chase or catch and run, I'm assuming they're referring to tag, where, one person is it, and they have to chase down the other people. So it seems like Olbart will be the person chasing everyone else, and he'll be trying to kill them. And they have to survive until a certain period of time. At least that's my interpretation of what's happening. Honestly, the chapter was okay. There's a lot of foreshadowing to Al spamming his techniques. So it's so weird how people are not catching on to Al having some busted ability. But, But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.